Hello, fellow sapiens.
This is a response to the iDeist video, Is Atheism a Religion? So iDeist, you don't like or get analogies, namely analogies are not direct comparisons or cheap strawmen. The problem with your argument is that it never argues what a religion is. In its truest sense, atheism itself is only a single belief relative to the existence of God. In fact, atheist can be New Agers, Buddhist, and can believe in anything as long as it does not include a God. It is not a religion and is really no more than a category of belief systems. One shared belief does not a religion make. This is the definition that people make when they make the lack of stamp collecting is not a hobby analogy, and I think a legitimate one. Having said that, many theists define atheist by their most prevalent form on YouTube and in the media, namely rational, scientific, skeptic, free-thinker forms of atheism. Basically variants of scientific naturalism. While I would say that many of them share a common set of beliefs, that does not make them of the same religion. To me, a religion implies the existence of a well-defined set of doctrines supported by a social infrastructure from which the believers get their belief. Atheists tend to be individualist and don't have any organization or central doctrine from which they get their beliefs. As a general rule, atheists form their beliefs through their own experience and not from any common doctrine, not even science. If you look at white people turn to atheism, religion itself with all its absurdities turn more to atheism than science. Moreover, there are some like me that have just never believed the theological myth, and science never played a role in the formation of that belief. I suspect in the end it is probably more logic applied to a notion of theology that leads to atheism, not science itself. While this may include inconsistencies between theology and science, my suspicion is that it is more the reconciliation of theology against reality and itself that actually changes our beliefs. Science does appear to play a more direct role in how we justify our beliefs, argue it against its detractors, and in some of the specific beliefs that make up our broader set of beliefs. I know many theists see atheist organizations and want to believe they are our churches and that we somehow are beholden to them for our beliefs. The reality is atheists' organizations tend to be more like special interest groups or political parties, in that atheists go there for support of their existing beliefs and typically don't get their atheism from them. Similarly, many theists like to paint atheists like Dawkins and other in the media as atheist preachers and prophets. Atheists see them as mere spokesmen for and champions of their cause, but not as an authority of what atheists should believe. While these spokesmen typically have no problem expressing their beliefs on many subjects, their views and opinions, outside supporting atheism, are not given any additional weight among atheists than any other celebrity or spokesman for that view. Probably the biggest impact of atheist celebrities and organizations is that they tend to make atheists feel less isolated and make them more comfortable with expressing their own atheistic beliefs. Admittedly, there is a lot of variation among atheists, and you will always be able to find exceptions. You will find some atheists that have gotten their belief from exposure to some atheist organization or by the words of some atheist celebrity, or that some atheists have banded together to form what they call a church. At least in my experience, these exceptions do not represent the norm and do not make atheism a religion. I realize some theists have problems understanding what atheists believe, so I will try to describe it in more familiar terms. Using Baptists as an organizational model, you would consider most individual atheists as their own congregation and so responsible for what they believe and what sources they draw from as far as doctrine and authority. The atheist organizations you see are therefore more like alliances and affiliations in that their relationship to them are defined by the congregation, which is the individual atheist, and typically don't represent any higher authority or hierarchical control. Hopefully, this will help explain why most atheists don't see themselves as part of religion, at least as I see it. I do think ultimately real atheist religions will form as our belief matures, becomes more dominant, and then fragments, as belief systems have historically done, but that's a future video.